Okay, wait. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm a high maintenance USAer. Okay.
3, 2, 1. What's up, guys?
Welcome back to our channel. You may think you've never seen us before, but little do you know, we've been haunting you this whole time, just behind your back.
Today, we're gonna talk about... Beep! Today, we're gonna talk about hauntings and how they pertain to Dana Terrace's The Owl House. But first, I have a cute little haunted house story for you called Our Lives.
I'm Casper, and I'm a Supernatural fan, / SRS, unfortunately. And UQuiz user at TechBond says I might need a lobotomy. Silly them. You can't lobotomize me. I don't have a corporeal brain. I got into the Owl House during my freshman year of high school because I heard there was gay people in it. I was watching so early in the show that season 2 was really starting to come out, so I put it down for a while, forgot about it, and ended up coming back almost 3 years later. Oops.
Oops, indeed. You can call me the boogeyman, and you may find this hard to believe, but I am in fact the Freddie Mercury. See, isn't the resemblance uncanny? I like skateboarding, supporting my sister, and punctuating every sentence with a high five. Up top! I got into the Owl House when I was an innocent lamb in January 2024, just a few crazy months ago, and the big bad wolf known as Casper the Lobotomy Ghost gobbled me whole and tied me to a chair and made me watch the first season of the Owl House, which I had already seen a few months before with my mommy, but we stopped right before the Grom episode because we lost our Disney Plus account, and that is a true story. Today's video is split into 3 parts.
The typical haunted house story,
Why the Owl House fits into that model,
and why the Owl House is so much scarier than a regular haunted house story.
Let's just phase right into it. Me when the house is haunted for real.
The idea of a haunted house is broad and ancient, with examples from all over time. Specifically, it's become a staple of traditional Gothic literature, such as the works of Mary Shelley and Edgar Allan Poe.
The typical haunted house story, in our very scientific, peer-reviewed, and factually undebatable opinion, includes 5 major plot points. 1. Moving into the house. This is the beginning where the personality of both the characters and the house itself is established. There's an important variant of this story where the house is seen as the main character's savior. You see this in the aptly titled film The House, which combines 3 stories all taking place in the same creepy-ass motherfucking house. The respective protagonists of each story feel the house is going to do some overwhelming good in their lives simply by its existence, only making it harder for them to accept the obviously fucked up shit happening around them.
Number 2. Living the house and something is off. Creaking stairs, moving shadows, pets and children acting all types of spooky, the whole shebang. An example of this would be in the movie The Conjuring, where a family moves into a severely haunted house. It's pretty run-of-the-mill. They move in, there's weird parts of the house they didn't know about or were boarded off, there's creaking in the halls every night at exactly the same time, the clock stopped working, the dog is irritated and won't enter the house, the kids start having night terrors / seeing things, etc., etc. Pretty freaky shit. They kind of lose it.
Number 3, the turning point. They see the ghost. They can't ignore it anymore. The house is haunted. A literally classic example is in The Fall of the House of Usher when everybody's favorite generic white man protag sees Madeline walking around after he literally fucking buried her. Spooky!
Number 4. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. This is where the characters get into crunch time. They know there's a monster, now is all collecting data, fighting back, trying to keep the monster at bay long enough to defeat it. Sometimes this is a long drawn-out process. Sometimes it's them throwing shit at the ghost as they run away from it.
Number 5, profit. There's a few different ways these stories can end. 1, they are consumed by the monster. They become forever attached to the house or the creature and they cannot escape. 2, they run away from the monster. They know what haunted them lives on somewhere, but it can't hurt them now. They're out of the house and into the world. 3, they defeat the monster. They use their cleverness, their strength, the knowledge of the monster they gathered earlier, all of it to put an end to whatever is haunting them. Now, as we've said, there's a lot of wiggle room here. A wide variety of stories could be stretched into this framework, even ones you might not typically imagine as haunted house stories.
Alien, circa 1979, along with being the creepiest shit ever made, could be argued to fit into this storyline, but there's an important distinction here between the haunted house story and the typical monster story, aka
The creature feature.
Betty.
In these stories, the monster is a foreign entity invading a place that used to be safe. Whereas in the haunted house story, monster comes free with package as party as the spooky as fuck home.
You said party instead of part.
Well, there's plenty of overlap in these stories.
And trust me, we'll get to that overlap, just not today.
But for our purposes right now, they are two legally distinct, no copyright infringement here, things.
Listen, we're not stupid. Yes, you could argue that the Owl House as a locale is haunted by this
Lil freak.
Lil Flash Bastard.
Lil ragamuffin.
Lil Weird, he's a weirdo.
Fuck. Lil bitch.
Named Hootie.
But, wait, no, fuck. But that's not what we're talking about!
Keep up! More than that, the Owl House as a show matches the arc of a haunted house story in a lot of interesting ways. At the very beginning of the story, Luce moves into a magical place called the Boiling Isles. This comes as a very welcome change since the realm where she comes from, the human realm, always saw her as a weirdo. But in this new setting, she's able to find a similarly strange community, Eden King, so she feels more at home, slotting the Owl House nicely into the house as a savior archetype.
However,
Oh my god!
we get clues from as early as the first episode that something is off. The Emperor's Coven, the main form of law enforcement, is obsessive yet lifeless and locks away anyone deemed as remotely abnormal in the conformatory.
Then, of course, we have the entire horrifying ordeal of the failed petrification ceremony at the end of season 1, where Ida is said to be turned to stone for refusing to follow the Emperor's intentionally restrictive coven system. All of these things are like creaking on the stairs and the flickering lights, clues that something is not quite right in this new place. And as the Owl House goes on, we get more and more of these clues.
The big turning point is the Hollow Mind, the moment where they see the creature haunting them in its entirety. They see the complete arc of the Emperor's corruption and can no longer ignore the truth snarling in their faces. The Isles are haunted. The rest of season 2 is researching the monster, learning about the history of the Isles, of Belos, and fighting back, kicking the Emperor's Coven out of Hexside, getting Ida out of prison, etc., etc. Season 3 is all about defeating the monster, which they do.
Yay!
That was easy.
Not. And the Owl House's ending is a particularly interesting way to close out a haunted house story, because it kind of includes every variant all at once. Luce is, in a very literal sense, consumed by the Isles when Belos possesses the Titan and kills her. But she also definitely defeats him.
And more metaphorically, it could be argued that Luce, returning to the human world after curb-stomping Belos into the goddamn ground, is a form of running away. But it could be argued that her returning to the Isles to go to Ida's magic school is a form of her being consumed. In tandem with the House as a savior narrative presented at the beginning, it's actually really sweet that the Owl House combines typical haunted house endings. Luce recognizes that even through all the deeply fucked up shit that has happened on the Isles, she'll still always love this place that saved her. She knows this house was, sloshers, still kinda haunted, but it's home.
But don't worry, it's not all fluffy, fluffy sunshine and rainbow cake forever!
So, Hunter. Hunter is the biggest clue that something fishy is going on. He's anxious, self-sabotaging, and talks to Belos like he's the fucking Pennywise himself. If everything else is creaking on the stairs, Hunter is finding a body in the basement. There's definitely something wrong here, and whatever you thought it was before, it's way worse. And again, the Hollow Mind is the turning point, the moment where we see the ghost. But we don't see the ghost, not entirely. We see Luce's version of the ghost. We never get to see Hunter's version. Instead, we see Belos' plan through her eyes while Hunter is literally dragged off screen.
Wait, flip. In most haunted house stories, the scariest part is the beginning. Before you've actually seen the ghost, your imagination is free to fill in the blanks with whatever terrifies you the most. Notably, in Supernatural. Some of the scarier bits and pieces of the show are the things we, the audience, and the characters cannot see at all. For example, when angels are introduced to the show, they have arguably the greatest intro because we don't see their wings at all. Instead, the lights flash and stuff, and then we get the shadow of their wings all spread out to full wingspan on the wall before the shadow vanishes and we're left to make sense of the holy fury we just witnessed. Likewise, there are these hellhounds in the show that are sent to kill the characters that have sold their soul to a demon after their contract is up. These hellhounds are completely invisible to everyone except the person they're there to kill. The only clue anyone else has that they're even there is their growling and claw marks on the floor. Like, oh, I don't know, maybe creaking on the stairs. As a result, we have no idea what the hellhounds look like, so our imagination runs wild, and we think of the most bone-chilling design for these dogs ever. Once in the later seasons we have the means to actually see what the dogs look like, they're not even scary anymore because they're just overgrown versions of the dogs that are sitting right next to us when we're watching the show.
Taking this into account and considering how much Disney
Trademarked!
is a family-friendly company and can only say so much before their perfect, pristine, sparkling reputation is not so perfect, the fact that we don't see Bellows through Hunter's eyes is fucking terrifying!
His backstory with Bellows is so horrifying that they legally cannot show it on screen. Do you understand how fucked up that is?
Imagine if in Alien they censored the fucking alien. They blurred it out like fucking porn and had a note from Universal or whatever studio saying, oh yeah, we legally can't show you what this alien looks like, or like, you know, morally? Yeah, it's too graphic, so we can't really show you the thing itself, but like, you're smart cookies, huh? You can figure it out. What?!
Dana, say psych right now! Dana, Terrace, I swear to God!
Okay, we know, it's obviously Bellows, but hear us out for just a second.
As a locale, the Owl House is being haunted by Emperor Bellows, or should we say, Philip Winterbane! However, as a narrative, the Owl House is being haunted by...
Jesus, girl!
I know, I just have to let that love light and trust into my heart.
You do! God! Open your heart to Jesus and he'll do the rest of the work. Sorry. I'm Jesus in this narrative. Oh my god, no, don't sacrifice yourself to save the day. You're so hot and sexy. I'm just having fun on the stage in my... You gotta like shake out your arm. Okay. Get all the ghosts out. I'm the only one allowed here today.
Oh, and the big bad wolf known as Casper the lobotomy ghost.
Get out of here!
Hi, baby girl.
Jesus fuck. Alright. Well, that's a wrap. No! I laughed and it flew the